Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk About It. Today we're going to be talking about something that everyone should have on their system, and that's endpoint protection. So, what does that mean actually, endpoint protection? Is this something that we need on every single machine out there?
I think so. Yeah, I think we should have a decent monitored, I think that's the important thing, managed antivirus product on every station. I think that's the best way to go. There's a bunch of them out there. There's a bunch of really good products. I couldn't imagine having a machine without it.
And what do you mean by monitor? Like, what's the difference between, say, someone has an antivirus program on their system at home and somebody has a monitored antivirus or endpoint protection system on their system at the office?
Yeah, good question. So traditionally we would have an antivirus software installed on a computer. It would go and it would update itself with the company that made it, on whatever frequency we chose. It would be centrally managed, usually on a server. So the computer would check in. You would get your latest updates to virus definitions, which come out daily, sometimes more than once a day.
Why do you need those? What are the updates for?
Well, so there's different types of viruses that are being created all the time. Like you and I have a job, we pretend to do IT stuff. So these guys are out there making viruses. These guys, this is their full-time job, is they're making stuff that can, cause grief on your machines. Bad actors, we'll call them. So viruses are coming out all the time. So the companies that make the antivirus products need to make definitions to thwart against them, to protect against these things. So traditionally, that machine is checking in on whatever frequency, maybe even if the person has a laptop, what if they only come into the office once a week, let's say. So to me, that's a little bit dangerous, that it's only checking in when it's part of the network, or it's only checking in when the person comes back from vacation.
Right.
It means to me that machine has been left for a period of time not protected, which is fine if it's off, but if it's on and it's not updated regularly, this could be a security risk, So the newer ones, the ones that are monitored and managed, the ones that we use, they will check in all the time no matter what and no matter where the person is. So as long as they're on the internet, they're going to get those virus definitions, they're going to be protected.
Oh, awesome. And what does that management mean, like from your side of things and from the client side?
Well, for us as the IT guys, we're watching what's happening. So very similar to your alarm system at home.
Are you watching what I'm doing on my computer?
I am sometimes. Similar to your alarm system.
You can see where I go?
I can see where you go. I know everything about you. There's that geolocation stuff too we got to watch out for. But the general gist is that, like your alarm system at home, if it's not being monitored by someone, great system you could have, but if nobody's watching what's going on, then it's not really protecting you. Like someone has to raise a red flag. So typically these managed, monitored antiviruses, someone's watching that. So we have a tech that checks, in the morning, checks in the afternoon, and sees if there's any alerts, if there's anything going on. A lot of them can be cleaned just, automatically. The software is smart enough that it can repair. We can send commands to the machine that has an issue, and a lot of the time it'll get resolved on its own. But sometimes we can't. Sometimes the software can't fix it automatically, and we're going to want to connect to that machine, and we're going to want to make sure we clean that out. So we advise the customer, typically, we need to take a look and see what's going on.
Right.
But you wouldn't know about any of that unless it was monitored, unless it was managed, So I think it's critical.
And what about costs? Is that more expensive than traditional
You would think,
antivirus?
right? You would think, because you're paying a monthly fee to your alarm system. You would be paying a monthly fee to us as well for this, but we find that it becomes quite a bit more reasonable in cost, let's say, cheaper, if you will, than a standalone product that you would buy in a retail store or something like that. Ours work out to be quite reasonable. And considering you have that monitored aspect in the background and the automated aspect of always checking in with the server no matter where they are, I find the cost is really worth it.
And what about like feature-wise? Do they do some other things that maybe a standard antivirus may not?
Yeah, another good question. Yeah, sometimes we'll have built-in firewalls. We'll have things like content filtering that can be activated, meaning that the person couldn't go to certain websites, they couldn't go to certain places that we deem might not be good for them, could be causing a risk. So those
places
features,
you were watching me go to.
Busted, yeah, you're busted. Both of us are busted now. But yeah, so there usually are additional features. Sometimes there are additional costs, depending on the model, depending on the manufacturer and that, but most of them will have more than just typical antivirus features.
Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone, and be sure to join us next time on Let's Talk About It.